Should you show pricing on your website? Well, are you a productized service provider, like an e-commerce restaurant or SaaS company? If that's the case, then yes, you should. On the other hand, are you a customized service provider, like a solar installer, design firm, or law practice? Then no, you shouldn't. In this video, we're going to be tackling why you should not put pricing on your website if you're a customized service provider. There are certainly arguments to be made for putting pricing on your website. You can take a look here at this video by Wes McDowell. In his video, he highlights 3 reasons why you should put pricing: your customers expect it, credibility, and pre-qualified prospects. Now, I don't personally agree with points 1 and 2. Before we talk about the reasons for not putting pricing on your website, let's look at why you want to put pricing up there in the first place. Now, if your reasons are to show affordability, then we may need to rethink our motivations. Because as soon as you put pricing up, this is what happens. Number 1, your visitor sees you as a commodity. Number 2, they start comparing you and your competitors based on your price and not on the value that you add. Number 3, you're focused on what you want and not really what your customer wants. Number 4, you leave money on the table, a lot of money on the table. So let's take a look at these one by one. Number 1, your customer sees you as a commodity. They see you as being fungible, easily replaceable, and hardly different from your competitors. A commodity is like a can of Coke. A can of Coke you buy from one supermarket looks, smells, tastes, and weighs the same as another can of Coke from a different supermarket. If they see you as a commodity, you're being seen as a tool, an order taker, or a pair of hands to do as you're being told. Wouldn't you rather be seen as an expert, as a thinker, the one to give advice? Of course you would. Number 2, your customer starts comparing you based on price. Your customer typically has no idea about the intricacies or details about the service you're offering. The only concept that they understand the most is price. If you give them that, they now have something to measure you against your competitors. And then they leave your website purely because you're more expensive. Unfortunately, they didn't give you the chance to explain how you're different. Now, how disappointing would that be? Number 3, you're focusing on what you want and not what your customer wants. Showing a single price means that every customer is the same to you. It's likely that your price will be based on your time, materials, and some margin on top for profit. So regardless of who your customers are or how large they are, what their problems are, what their motivations are, you're going to be charging them the same. Because once you get to the sales conversation with your customer and you want to charge them a higher price than the one that's shown on your website, they might feel that's a little unfair. Number 4, you leave a lot of money on the table. Now, there are no 2 clients that are the same. Some value fast delivery and will pay a little bit extra, whereas some can wait. Some will pay more for guarantees, whereas some really don't care. Some customers are really skeptical and will only work with companies that have shown a track record with proven results, whereas some are a little bit more relaxed. By showing your price up front on your website, you're not able to capture any of the additional value that you'll be able to generate for your customer. So you end up leaving a lot of money on the table. But I do agree with point number 3 by Wes McDowell, pre-qualified prospects. You don't want to entertain time vampires who eat your time but were never able to afford your services anyway. So putting pricing up is a good way to weed them out. Now, there are 2 options that you can take to achieve this while still giving yourself the option of capturing additional value and charging differently. Number 1, you can give a range. This could be something like a 6 kilowatt system will cost between $7,000 and $10,000. This way, it'll give you some wiggle room to move about and not be bound by a single price. Number 2, you can give indicative pricing. Show a testimonial or a case study. And you could say something like, Steve from Melbourne paid around $9,000 for this 6 kilowatt solar system 3 years ago. And in that short time, he has made all his money back. When your new customers read this, they have an idea about how much you charge. But once again, you're not chained to that price you give them. I hope that was helpful to you. I will really love to hear your thoughts. Please comment below if you disagree with me. Thanks.